this car may have an inoperable cooling fan. I plugged in this handheld reader and I'm checking the temperature. It's at 194 now, but it's gone as high as 214. The fan still hasn't turned on. So, car's cooled down a little bit now, but it's climbing again, 196, still no fan. I'm going to try turning on the air conditioning and see if the fan comes on with the AC. Just turned the air conditioning on. The fan should have engaged. No fan. No. I tried to research online what temperature the fans are supposed to switch on, and there wasn't any information easily available. The thermostat doesn't seem to be working properly either, because driving down the road, the temperature of the vehicle drops below operating temperature. Should be held steady right at 190, but as I'm going down the highway, it drops down to well below that. And then when I stop at a stop sign, it goes back up. It just fluctuates way too much. So I'm going to put a thermostat in this car, and while I'm at it, I'm going to test to see if the fan operates properly. I believe it's supposed to be a 2-speed fan. This rubber weather strip just pulls right off. I wouldn't normally just assume that the fan is bad in a diagnosis like this, because it could be the temperature switch that activates the fan. It could be a wiring problem. It could be a relay. It could be a lot of things, but PT Cruiser is well known for the fan failing, and I need to take most of the same parts off to change the fan as I do the thermostat, which we know is bad. So I'm guessing it's the fan, and once I have access to the connection, I'll test it with jumping from the battery. The 4 bolts out the grill should just lift off. On the bottom, those guides slip into 2 little slots. Just pull it up. Now, this piece here needs to be removed so we can tilt the radiator out and get access to the fan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts. Okay. there's the radiator. It's loose now. I'm not going to touch it until it cools down. Once it's cool, I'll drain it. I still need to take off this plenum to get access to the thermostat, which is right in here. I'm just going to remove the plenum for now, let the engine cool down. We'll drain the coolant and take apart this manifold that's on top of the coolant manifold that's on top of the thermostat, replace that, and we'll take out this hose so we can pull the fan out and check whether or not the fan works on both speeds. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts here, and then this will lift right off and be out of the way. Last bolt. Okay, one more bolt in the back. One bolt right here that needs to be removed. It holds a bracket. Loosening the cover that's attached to the other end of this hose. Let's see if the whole thing will move out of our way here. Okay. Just need to move it a little bit. I'm just going to use this piece of wood to hold this up. The coolant is safe now. Didn't want to open it up when it was hot. So it's cooled down for a couple of hours, and picked up a thermostat from the dealership. It's a Chrysler brand. I think these are better. The thermostats are such a critical item. I think it's much better to use the dealer purchased thermostat than an aftermarket. That's my personal opinion. I think they work better, more reliable. So now I'm just going to take out these two bolts so I can lift up this coolant manifold and get access to the where this goes. Careful not to drop any of these bolts down there or anything else. You can see why I had to take this off now. There's the old thermostat. Can't really tell any difference. It says this one has a place where it goes. You can see here there's a notch. It only fits that one way. Okay, that's it for the thermostat, other than filling the coolant and bleeding. Here's the bleeding screw right here. So now let's check the fan. The fan has 2 bolts at the top, which I've already removed, 2 at the bottom, and there's a very obvious electrical connection. Now I'm just going to move this clamp and this hose to get the fan out more easily. And test it. Okay, I guess there's a 5th bolt on the side. There it is. So I think in all likelihood it's broken. We'll just test it right here and find out. So it's kind of a gamble on my part to take it apart. I'm going to connect 2 wires to the battery and test this. It has a high and low setting. The battery has a lot of amperage, and if I short-circuited something or made a mistake, I'm a little bit protected by using a fuse on the wire I'm connecting to the positive side. I recommend you do it that way. Just connecting these to the battery. And there's 3 metal connectors in there. I think the middle one's going to be ground, and the other 2, one will be high speed, one will be low speed. So I'll connect the middle one to ground. Okay, make sure your fingers are clear and just reach in there and see if might have just blown my fuse. It might be too much amperage already for this. I thought I heard it blow. Okay. Yes. Okay, we have our ground in the middle. Now we're going to see if this fan works. Works on that setting. So let's try the other setting. Okay, it does not work on the other setting. So the fan is no good. It only works on one setting. Oops, there goes my fuse. Actually, the fuse is still good. Try it one more time. Nothing. You can see the fuse is still good. The high speed works, the low speed is burned out, so this motor's no good. Okay, we have the new one. Just have to wiggle it in there. Plastic. Careful. Couple of bolts at the top. I'm not going to tighten these all the way until I get the ones on the bottom started and might as well put this on so it doesn't drip on me. Two bolts and the connection on the bottom are really obvious. I'm just taking the light slightly dark. Okay, now we just put it all back together. Okay, I've got my hand on it. I have the fluid, the coolant back in, grill back on, car warming up, and my hand on the upper radiator hose that should get hot as soon as the thermostat opens. Car's at 180. Okay, the thermostat is working very well now. The temperature is fluctuating right around 190. Opening and closing, throttling the thermostat, the temperature just right. The fan's been cycling on and off. The only thing I just want to check now is whether or not the fan comes on with the air conditioning. It does. I just turned the air conditioning on, so we're good.